Imagine online multiplayer in Tears of the Kingdom, player versus player, or even a brand new story mode featuring online multiplayer would literally break the internet. You're exploring Hyrule, trying to save the world from Ganondorf's evil, when all of a sudden, oh, what's that? You see a fire in the distance? Is it a shrine or brand new mystical weapon? Nope, it's your friend building a massive contraption to crucify 3 Koroks and then blast them into outer space. But that's not all. When your friend Billy gets too annoying to stand, you can challenge him in a one-on-one duel. Best man wins. Climb to the top of the Hebra mountain and let the battle begin, or you could settle for something much more official. An official battle mode where you and Billy battle it out in an arena where you can get as creative as you want. Want to battle it out on the Great Plateau? We got you. Want to battle with bomb arrows only on a Skyview tower? We got you. Want to battle with master swords inside of Death Mountain's volcano? We got you. Come on, bro, 1 versus 1 me. No arrows, sticks only, Hyrule Castle, go. And don't even get me started on the Ultra Hand, laying traps for enemies that go back in time, building machine guns. Billy, you don't stand a chance. And neither does Twitter once they get a hold of this. That's right, player versus player will break the internet. You heard it here first. If you thought launching a Korok into space was crazy, you haven't seen nothing yet. Try paddling Koroks back and forth between you and Billy, who just can't get the damn timing right, or blitzing him in a labyrinth race featuring 100 pints of Lentil, 12 sprinkles of Hinox, just a pinch of Maktorok, and 1 Phantom Ganon as the cherry on top. Challenges like these would destroy YouTube. Every Zemeni and Point Crow would start milking videos like there's no tomorrow. Pranking Billy, scaring Billy, trapping Billy, let the guy catch a break. Now all this stimulation might be bad for my health. I put 100 hours into Tears of the Kingdom week 1. But it's good for the community, and most importantly, good for Nintendo's pockets. That's right, you're not the only one who's been laughing at those Twitter clips. Nintendo's been laughing all the way to the bank with well over 10 million copies sold in the first week. I can't be the only one who wants a piece of that, which is why I'm on YouTube. Hey, cut that out. Of course, thousands of those sales come from hungry fans who saw the clips online and had to have it. That internet effect would be tenfold with this Tears of the Kingdom DLC. Imagine the vitality online multiplayer would bring. That's music to Nintendo's ears. More people will buy their DLC and base game at the same time. Now that's what I called killing 2 birds with 1 stone. But how inevitable is this DLC really? With Breath of the Wild, there was no question. You think they're gonna scrap assets for the most revolutionary game of all time? Think again. Everyone and their mother expected DLC and a sequel. And oh boy, Nintendo delivered. But this isn't 2017 anymore. We have Tears of the Kingdom. We've collected 900 Korok seeds in normal mode and then did it again in master mode. Wait, was that just me? Am I the master? I might have sunk 700 hours into the first game, and probably even more in the second, but darn it, I want more, and I have a feeling Nintendo does too. But they wouldn't release it just yet. Oh no. Nintendo will milk every ounce of virality out of Tears of the Kingdom before announcing DLC. Considering how chock full of content and mechanics this game is, who knows how many more trends and exploits we'll find. Not to mention, the speedrunning community is only in its infancy. But all good things must come to an end, and Tears of the Kingdom will die down eventually. The hype will dwindle into a faint flame that can only be revived by an announcement, and not just any announcement, but the announcement for The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Expansion Pack. Expansion Pack. Expansion Pack. The expansion pack will likely take inspiration from the first game and be split into 2 releases with a 6-month gap between the 2. In typical Nintendo fashion, this would require one half to release during a holiday season and the next during the summer. Question being, which year? When will the Tears of the Kingdom DLC actually release? Is it this year? Or is it next year? In 2 years? On a brand new console? Considering how lively this game will continue to be for the next couple of months, don't expect anything anytime soon. 2024 or late 2023 announcement at the absolute earliest. Shh. I know what you're thinking, but Breath of the Wild's DLC was actually announced before the game even came out. Well, this isn't Breath of the Wild, is it? Listen, Billy, those were the dark ages. Back then, Nintendo's latest console, the Wii U, was selling less copies than the GameCube. They had to convince us that the Switch was coming jam-freaking-packed with content. Was there really any other choice? But this isn't 2017 anymore. No longer is Nintendo one failure away from bankruptcy. They've got nothing to prove. $60? $70? $80? We'll buy anything and everything with the name Zelda on the cover. Heck, there's already too much content for most of us to handle. We know the Switch is a banger printing machine. You take as long as you want, Nintendo. Whenever DLC is announced, I'll be right here waiting. Meaning Nintendo won't announce DLC until the community needs it. There's usually a quick turnaround time after announcement though, so an early 2024 release is expected, with the second half hitting shelves several months later. But LP, we get it. DLC in 2024? Who cares? We don't care about time, we care about content. Well, lovely viewers of mine, like a genie in a bottle, I will grant your wish. We already know the expansion pack will be split into 2 parts, just like the first game, which had DLC Pack 1, the Master Trials, and DLC Pack 2, the Champion's Ballad. Master Trials came with, you guessed it, the Master Trials, a long Wind Waker-esque gauntlet that stripped Link of all his tools and clothes. Seeing this redone with all of Link's new abilities would be more than marvelous, but that's not all, because this pack also came with, dun dun dun, the Hero's Path, a way to keep track of Link's footsteps, plus the one and only travel medallion and some miscellaneous gear. While these are some dope additions, I've got my eye on something else. Something meatier, something juicier than everything else included in this pack. I'm talking about none other than Master Mode. Like everything else on this list, Master Mode already exists in Tears of the Kingdom, meaning we have room for one more surprise mode, a secret mode that Nintendo plans on dropping on us out of nowhere. Lo and behold, online multiplayer would fit snugly in this little slot, but we've already talked about that ad nauseum, so let's move on to Champion's Ballad already. The meat and potatoes of this pack was, well, Champion's Ballad, the brand new story addition to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. It's equipped with new shrines, memories, gadgets, and even a dungeon. The story pack focused on an ancient Sheikah tribe known as the Monks. If you've entered a shrine before, you've seen one of these older looking fellas. Don't let their looks fool you. Piss these guys off and you're in for a world of hurt, as proven by the boss fight in Champion's Ballad, which had every Zelda YouTuber speculating why Monk Maz Koshia could be distracted by bananas. It's safe to say that we'll get something similar in Tears of the Kingdom. Nothing too crazy. Some gadgets, shrines, a dungeon, and a brand new look into one of Hyrule's most overshadowed races. The monks are going to take a back seat this time. Instead, we'll be exploring the world of the Zonai, godlike creatures who, hey, actually I won't spoil anything here. Let's take this conversation down to the comments section, okay? Beyond a battle with the Zonai, we can safely predict a few new gadget equivalents to the Master Cycle and Travel Medallion. Maybe a helicopter or a submarine? Only time will tell. The only thing we can say for sure is that we'll get new armor and weapon sets. But what if Nintendo said screw that and came up with something entirely different? No new story, no battle with the Zonai, something completely different. Perhaps a memoir to one of their other Zelda games? Age of Calamity? Breath of the Wild? Skyward Sword? Or maybe even a teaser for the next installment in the Legend of Zelda franchise. Because whether it's Breath of the Wild 3 or some brand new title, we know a new Zelda game is always right around the corner. And if you're anything like me, you're on the edge of your seat waiting to see what Nintendo does next. But it has to be another open world game, right? I can hardly even remember a time when Breath of the Wild wasn't the hottest game in the series. Back when Skyward Sword was in its prime, everything felt so different. Now, if Nintendo went back to that, things would be strange. I mean, how could they just go back? It's impossible. It's underwhelming. Even Nintendo has to know that whatever comes next will be a huge deal. It'll mark not only the start of a new era in Hyrule, but it'll also teach us something. The next installment in the Zelda series will teach us exactly what Nintendo's plans are from here on out. It'll teach us whether Breath of the Wild was a one-hit wonder, or a revolutionary title that the rest of the series will build off of. Something tells me it's going to be the latter. But who knows? Nintendo's fumbled bigger bags before. Just look at what they did after the Wii. And unveiling a new open world game would solidify the style to be the future of the franchise. Regardless, Nintendo knows that all eyes are on them right now. They might want to alleviate some of that pressure and make their intentions clear now instead of waiting for their usual 3 years to drop a trailer. If that's the case, and fingers crossed it will be, this new DLC won't just be a DLC, it'll be Nintendo's gateway to the new installment in their beloved franchise. But don't just take my word for it. This idea is backed up by Nintendo themselves. In an interview just a few weeks ago, actually, During this Game Informer interview, Eiji Onoma said, and I quote, "It's fair to say now that we've arrived at Breath of the Wild and the new type of more open play and freedom that it affords." Yeah, I think it's correct to say that it has created a new kind of format for the series to proceed from. This is huge news. Nintendo basically confirmed that their next game will be open world, putting a can on that debate. Now we know the next Zelda game will be an open world in the same style as Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. The only question being, what system will it actually release on? In my opinion, the answer is whatever Nintendo console comes out next, but that's a topic for another video, coming soon. Like this one, explaining why Super Mario Odyssey 2 will come to the Nintendo Switch and not a new console. The only other possibility is that Nintendo scraps Tears of the Kingdom DLC altogether and releases some ports in its place. It's an interesting idea. Some absolute classics have yet to make the jump to Nintendo Switch, but we already talked about that in this video, Twilight Princess or Wind Waker HD in 2024. The link is in the description for you. Until next time, this has been Danny with Game Domain. Thanks for watching.